Understanding options in direct-to-patient clinical supply. Direct-to-patient clinical supply is an essential component for traditional and decentralized trials. Broadly referred to as DTP, direct-to-patient supply enables clinical trial participants to receive their treatments in the convenience and comfort of their own home, and reduces or even eliminates the need to travel to a clinical site. Although in use as early as the 1980s, clinical sponsors have only recently begun to embrace the use of decentralized trials more broadly. Global events such as the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 have accelerated the use of decentralized trials and site-to-patient clinical supply. Direct-to-patient clinical supply can be aligned with the needs of the study and its patients in mind. Possible strategies include using direct-to-patient distribution for all patients all of the time, all patients some of the time, some patients all of the time, some patients some of the time, or on an emergency or case-by-case basis only. Sponsors who plan to offer a direct-to-patient option need to be aware of several factors. First, a provision for direct-to-patient distribution must be included in the approved study protocol. Second, while the United States and many European countries allow some form of direct-to-patient distribution, it is not permitted in all countries or in all cases. Third, working with an experienced clinical supply partner who is familiar with country-specific requirements and best practices can help sponsors develop a clinical supply plan that is both compliant and optimized to meet the needs of their study. There are two distinct approaches to direct-to-patient distribution of clinical supplies. The first and most commonly used approach is the STP, or site-to-patient model. In this model, clinical supplies are first sent to the clinical site and held in inventory until needed. The clinical site is responsible for releasing the supplies and arranging for courier pickup and delivery of supplies to the patient's home. The second approach is called DTP, and is a true direct-to-patient model that bypasses the clinical site altogether. Instead, clinical supplies are shipped directly from a pharmacy to the patient's home. This model uses a central pharmacy and pharmacist to dispense supplies to patients, as ordered by the investigator via a prescription. An important benefit of using a central pharmacy to manage DTP shipments is that clinical sites never have to physically receive, store, or arrange for the delivery of clinical supplies. Catalent FLEXDIRECT offers sponsors a choice and real-world flexibility in the direct-to-patient distribution of clinical supplies. Sponsors can choose between STP, which is a more common approach, or DTP, which leverages Catalent's central pharmacy to streamline direct-to-patient distribution, or a mixture of both. By using Catalent's central pharmacy, located within our Philadelphia clinical packaging facility, there is no need to divide inventory or send some supply to an off-site central pharmacy. All supplies can be held in inventory at the Catalent clinical packaging facility until needed. Catalent can work with sponsors to design a hybrid strategy that combines STP, DTP, and even traditional clinical site visits to provide a customized solution that is both flexible and meets all their clinical supply distribution needs. With Catalent's FLEXDIRECT solution, sponsors can build greater flexibility and patient centricity into their study and clinical supply chain. A key advantage of FLEXDIRECT lies in the ability of sponsors to offer a direct-to-patient option, which aligns with the specific needs of their study and can be modified as needed to help improve overall patient recruitment and retention efforts and address changing study and patient needs. clinical.catalent.com